What up? How you feeling this morning, Patriot fan?
I hate football.
That is easy to do. That is a very common, very jet answer to this question of I hate football.
There are things about the game that are obviously spectacular, and of course, I love football, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. We've also had a long-standing amount of winning over the past 20 years, so I'm not one to sit here and say that we don't, deserve some little blips like this, but please tell me that this doesn't mean the Bears are good now, right?
Oh, good hell no. Oh, good God, no. Justin Fields is still painful to watch. Now,
yes.
For what we're doing here, which is fantasy football, we welcome you in. I am the Mullet Man. He's the Canadan. This is a trunicated version of our Tuesday show. I have a meeting that I just found out about in 29 minutes. So fire away all of your fantasy football questions. We'll be doing waivers here. We're planning on doing another show for trades and all kinds of things. We were going to do them all together today, and nobody ever tells me anything.
Surprise meetings are the best meetings.
I am the last person.
I have them later.
I am the last person to know everything. Although apparently they're feeding us, which is cool.
Ooh, okay. Well, that's slightly more palatable.
And the caterer is the guy doing my wedding. So for me, this will be like a little trial for what's the old wedding going to look like.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join the House of Reprehensibles if you're interested. Jeremy and I are in there answering waiver, sit, start questions basically all day, every day, as well as here every Tuesday morning.
A lot of questions in the Discord. If you're a member of the house, it's on the perks page. All you got to do is click that link. It'll take you right in there. We talk all day. It's much like this show in a big chat thread all day long.
Who's your I laughed. I got to tell you this. When I go do my research for the waiver show, I go and I look at what everybody else is saying after I know what I'm saying. And boy, was I ever not surprised that every single person on the list is someone that we told you to pick up on Sunday.
Correct. Gus Edwards. You remember that thing I said about he should be rostered in all formats?
Yeah.
Now,
2 tutties.
Now, here's what I will say. The thing about Gus Edwards that you're going to have to be careful of, had he not scored twice, you would not feel the way about him you do right now.
Correct.
So you have to be careful of that. 100% he's rosterable. To me, he is one of the biggest pickups of the week. But your one this week is
Greg Dulcich.
I do like old Greg.
It's not Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards is probably my 2. Wandale might be my 1 if you haven't already done
Wandale is very high. Last week I screamed at you, pick up Wandale Robinson. He is the one receiver on this team that they're committed to, and look what happened. Yeah. If you want to know exactly how much they believe in Wandale Robinson, just look at the snap share. His was through the roof. Ran around on 78% of dropbacks. 6 catches, 50 yards on 8 targets, 28% target share.
Yeah, Wandale is a no doubt.
No doubt. If you need a receiver, and here's another thing. If you're in a weird running back league, I'm in a lot of leagues that give you points for carries, much the way you get points for catches. If you're in that, Wandale is a must-add.
Yeah.
Because he does do that, and he has the ability to do that. Just remember, he was a running back when he got to Nebraska before he transferred to Kentucky.
Patrick Holt with our first question. Time to stop playing Kamara.
No!
Never. Play your studs.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
All right, so Holt's question was perfectly timed. Would you like to hear the receivers in the NFL that have a better rest of season schedule than Wandale Robinson?
Yes.
Would you like to hear it again?
That's what I thought.
Alvin Kamara. Would you like to hear the running backs in the NFL with a better rest of season schedule than Alvin Kamara?
Saquon Barkley?
Would you like to hear it again? Those are two of my absolute favorite. Wan'Dale, go get him off waivers. Alvin Kamara, now is the time to go get him. I have been asked more questions about Alvin Kamara in the last, I'll say, 48 hours, and I don't 100% understand why. If you've held out this long, what that you just saw is making you tap out?
Nothing. I'm not tapping out at all.
I'm not tapping out in the least. In the least. Goal line carries this week. For a Saints team that could not play dead in the Western for the vast majority of it. The only two in the NFL that had more than Alvin Kamara were Ezekiel Elliott and Joe Mixon.
Not to mention the Saints are, and this is going to sound ridiculous, still in the hunt for the division.
Huh. Chris D's comment, can you say that's the most points Eckler will score this season? That seems to be working for me. Good for you. I love when people take shots at me. And that one's totally justified. Austin, look, here's the thing I didn't plan on with the Chargers. I didn't think the entire team was going to die, and they were going to turn into the 2012 New England Patriots.
Just nothing to do.
I did not plan for that.
Kevin Falk out of the backfield all day long.
That was not in the list of things that I had planned for this season. That one weren't in the cards.
No.
Austin Eckler is. I've been. Yeah, I hope you didn't listen to me and you didn't sell on him.
Yeah, keep Eckler. He's still good. He's still fantasy relevant always.
Now, here's the one thing I will say, and I have given this advice multiple times. Just understand when Keenan Allen comes back at full health, which he was not this week, and it was very obvious. A lot of those passes are going to stop.
Yes.
So I mean, he will still be an elite play. But just understand that this is certainly the high side. It can keep happening. You got to mitigate the risk.
How many shares of Eckler do you have in leagues?
I'm in 37 leagues. I think I have Eckler in 6 of them.
I have 0. And it's not because I wouldn't like to have Eckler in leagues. It's because someone always reaches for Eckler, and
and usually his name is Tank Spencer.
I absolutely refuse to do that. So, don't get rid of Kamara. Kamara has got a great schedule, and like I said, they're still in the hunt for the division at 2-5, with no clear. Atlanta, I guess, might win that division, but the Saints, if they can figure out how to use Kamara again, Michael Thomas comes back, that offense looks a whole lot better.
I'm in 37 season-long leagues, and I lost count of how many best ball leagues I'm in. I have shares of everyone. I have shares of people that aren't in the league anymore.
Fair enough.
Alex S. asked Wan'Dale for Terry or Godwin. I like Wan'Dale Robinson rest of year better than Terry McLaurin.
I do too.
He's not a better player, but he's in a much better situation.
Godwin is hit and miss for me. That's probably a lot closer than Terry. Terry's got upside.
I like Godwin the rest of the year. Tampa Bay's going to figure this out. Look, I've talked a lot of shit to Tank Spencer, but this is what it's. They're going to figure it out to a point. I'm not telling you they're going to win a Super Bowl, but they're going to be better than what I just saw in Charlotte.
God, that was awful.
It was not awful. God, it was like no. it was just beautiful. I loved every second of it. I also peed on a camper. That's a story for another day. That I think was actively being inhabited, and I didn't realize that at the time.
The old domestic light woozies.
Oh yeah. Oh, we were between Kenny Ford and I, we were both about 20 domestic lights deep.
Not a boy.
Alex S. asked, should I trade Amon or St. Brown? No, and this is the week you go trade for him.
You mean Equiminius's brother?
Oh, good hell. Yes. This is a week for me to go get him.
Yeah.
Because he may have just burned somebody with not a concussion in the stupid protocol that was really agitating. And look, with how bad the Rams or the Lions are, you have to understand the chances of them bringing Jameson Williams back are dwindling by the week.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're 1 in 10, why would you bring him back? And when I say bring him back, I mean give him a full workload. Why would you not ease him in? And if you ease in Jameson Williams, you're not committed to DJ Chark. Amon-Ra St. Brown is still going to eat because his team is terrible.
He's the no doubt one there, and he will continue to get number one share if healthy.
Lisa Evansdale with our first one of these of the day.
I'm your huckleberry.
Not a fantasy question, but what's up with my 49ers? I'm not pushing this question off, but it is something we're going to talk about in power rankings today. I don't think there's anything wrong with them.
There isn't.
I don't think there's anything wrong. I think this is where the league is. I fully believe this is where the league is. I went through the entire NFL. Do you know how many teams don't have a bad loss? Or and I shouldn't even say bad loss. A weird loss that doesn't make any freaking sense.
Kansas City.
It's Kansas City and Philadelphia.
Buffalo?
End of message,
Buffalo
repeat the
lost
line.
that. Yeah.
And if they don't have just a weird-ass loss, they have one that they should have lost. Minnesota should have lost to the Lions.
Yes.
And this is when you see the power rankings this week, 3 o'clock this afternoon here on YouTube, ESPN Radio in Asheville. You can follow us on the iHeartRadio app. Just search my name and it pops right up there. The thing that you're going to notice is they're going to look eerily similar to the preseason rankings minus a handful of teams.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to take my own advice. Stick to your guns.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to catch a lot of flack for it, and that's fine. I have a video of me driving around like Tony Soprano, so that's a thing I own now.
Damian Pierce or Miles Sanders from Satisfied Browns fan?
Rest of season? I know what I want to say, but I want to make sure I'm not. I want to make sure I got this right. They're both back in ones or twos, high end twos.
Them both.
No doubt. I have Damian Pierce 2 spots ahead of Miles Sanders.
Pierce is the only weapon in Houston.
And the split now is Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
That's the only guy in between them. With the addition of James Robinson, let's go. Welcome to the New York Jets.
That's a good pickup for you.
God, I love Joe Douglas. I want to, you know what? I want to fly to Newark right now and just pick him up with my Sopranos music blaring, and we drive around Jersey just like two gangsters that we are.
It's going to be Jeremy, Joe D, and Gary V all in this truck.
And you know what's going to be in the back of my new Nissan Pathfinder?
From Fred Anderson Nissan?
Bingo. Receipts. Gonna be a truck full of receipts. Couple of them that might have come from me. Alex S. asked, should I trade Alvin Kamara for Najee and Godwin? I like the Alvin side of that. I would trade Najee and Chris Godwin for Alvin Kamara right now. I wouldn't think the second thing about it. Najee Harris is borderline unplayable.
What do you got to keep him, but
see, to me, you don't got to keep him. I will trade him off for whatever you will give me.
I might take that advice. I hate drafting guys and they're like the outlook is there and they should be better and then it's just not happening and there has to come a point and I think we're at that point.
Najee's talented. The team is terrible.
We are week 8. We're going into week 8, so make your move now before you get stuck.
All right, let me ask you a question. And this will just show me if you're as low on Najee Harris as I am. Rest of season, who would you rather have? David Montgomery.
Najee.
It's David Montgomery for me, and it's not even close. I thought that one was easy.
No, I can't go David Montgomery. I can't do it.
Well, first of all, Najee's schedule for the rest of the year sucks. And he has been bad against the ones he should have been able to run on, like the Miami Dolphins.
Poor Dolphins.
All right, Ramondre Stevenson.
Ramondre.
I agree with you. Michael Carter.
How big do you think the split is going to be with Robinson?
Exactly like it was with Breece Hall. Well, that's not true. The passing down work now will almost exclusively go to Carter. So the passing down side of Breece Hall goes to Carter, and he's very good at that, by the way. And James Robinson is more between the tackles.
Probably Carter.
I would agree. By the way, I'm doing these in order. Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, CEH.
And then the one that I really wanted to talk about, Deontay Foreman.
Oh. Yeah, probably Foreman too.
There you go. All right, so here's my advice with Najee. Find somebody that really find a piece you really want with a team that's not good, that's in bye week hell. Trade the piece they really want with Najee for one other guy, whoever that is. And that's totally up to you. That's dependent on your league. Make the 2-for-1 deal and go get Deontay Foreman, and you win. Even if the trade doesn't look ideal at first, understand I'm getting Deontay Foreman because everybody's going to lose their mind on Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard's not the guy. I watched this entire game live and in person. The Carolina Panthers are not going to be up like that again. Deontay started the game. Deontay is the passing down guy. Deontay Foreman's the one you want.
Yeah. And I agree with that.
Armchair, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. I don't know what just happened, but the whole system just went whoop.
Amazing.
All right. We're still live. Let's go. Technology's fun. That was weird. My whole system just shut down for about 10 seconds. Let's see. So back to some questions. And like we said, this is a truncated version of this show, so get those questions in quick. We'll get them answered, and we will do another one of these before the week is up. Let's see. Benvolio, I'm giving Tyreek and Montgomery for Taylor and Amari Cooper. Full PPR, which side would you take?
I feel like I'm on the Tyreek side, but
it's close. It's a fair trade on both sides, but I would take the Jonathan Taylor side.
With Sam Ehlinger at quarterback?
And that's my point. He's mobile enough that I actually think that helps Taylor. And I'm looking at Amari Cooper going, when Deshaun Watson comes back, which is now not that far away.
Yep.
I think I would be on the Taylor Amari Cooper side of that.
Yeah, I think it's close.
It's close. I will tell you, I'm nervous about Montgomery with Khalil Herbert because I think that is a 50-50 split.
Khalil Herbert's good.
They're both good at the footballs, and Justin Fields is not.
Correct.
Let's see. Chris D. said, I have Christian Kirk, Mike Williams as my only two receivers. Running backs are Eckler Pierce, Kenny Walker, Rashad White, Khalil Herbert, Brian Robinson, and the Gus Bus. What would you do for a second wide receiver, maybe a third because Christian Kirk goes on bye in week 11? Keep Mike Williams or try trading him. I would hold on to Mike Williams because you're not going to get the value for him, and you're 6-1. No. You can take a couple L's. When he comes back, you'll be fine. What I would do, I would be aggressively targeting Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yep.
I would be aggressively targeting in that situation, I might take the flyer on Jameson Williams and stash him.
How do you feel about Paris Campbell's outlook in that whole offense?
It goes down with Sam Ehlinger.
MVS?
MVS is another one that I was getting ready to say. And the one I would be looking to move, if I were you, I would try to come off Gus Edwards this week.
Trade high.
Because I think the trade value is as high as it's going to get. Look, you understand, they still ran Kenyon Drake. He was just bad.
Yes.
And so I think that's the definition of a split, but you're going to get value like he's an RB1, and he's not. I mean, look, I advised you to pick him up. I think he is playable moving forward. But right now, I would argue, just looking at my rankings for the rest of the season, Gus is a mid to low tier RB3. I feel like right now you could get some combination of Michael Carter and because Michael Carter's value has diminished with James Robinson coming in. I feel like you could get a combination of Michael Carter, maybe Terry McLaurin, Drake London, who people are really down on right now, DK Metcalf, who's going to be down for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
The thing you got to understand is you have a built-in advantage at 6-1. You can lose 2 weeks and still probably be the leader in your league. So start taking those playoff flyers now.
Yeah.
And throw the darts at the wall. Wan'Dale Robinson is going to be a guy you can play as that second receiver for a couple weeks. If you lose them, who cares? Set yourself up for the playoffs. At 6-1, the chances of you not making it are somewhere between knowing something about the Clintons and living to tell about it and surviving gas station sashimi. So take that advantage and use it to your advantage. Play on somebody that has to win, that has DK Metcalf and is going, oh, God, what am I going to do? I don't have anybody to play, and if I lose, I'm out.
Just as an FYI, I put Najee Harris on the block in 2 separate leagues that I own him in on Sleeper. And I'm not kidding. I've gotten 5 offers already.
Oh, yeah. I mean, somebody will make the offer on Najee Harris. There's no doubt. I don't know why. And it's just, I mean, it's name recognition. He was the guy that went in the first round.
Sure.
But he's not been good. And I don't think he's going to be good the rest of the year.
First offer I got was Najee for Lockett.
Ugh.
Yeah. Listen, the price is the price. I'm not going to come down on it. You think you're going to fleece me for Najee? Good luck. But
all right. So with our short time frame here, we'll go rapid fire.
Yep.
Ayuk or Bateman? I'm going rest of season, not season long, or a rest of season, not this week.
Still Ayuk.
I agree, but it's close.
Yeah.
Bateman's another guy that I would be targeting because their playoff schedule is cake.
Yes.
I like Bateman a lot. Actually, you know what? I'm going to audible that. I'm going to say Bateman by a hair. I like both, but for me, it's Bateman. But drop off for Mark Andrews, I don't see it. That's still Lamar's best friend. They do karate in the garage. Pitts or Andrews to start. I'm still on Kyle Pitts. I know that sounds insane, but I am still on Kyle Pitts.
Rest of year, I like Kyle Pitts. This week, I love Kyle Pitts.
Here's the problem. They're not passing nearly enough. In a game that they got absolutely dog-walked, he ran 15 routes.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is, that was still 79% of the dropbacks. Do you know what his target share was this week?
Like probably 40%.
42%. Would you like to hear the list of players in the NFL with a higher target rate than that this week?
Yes.
DJ Moore. End of message. Repeat the line. That's the only one. He was 48%.
DJ Moore.
DJ Moore, low-key, might. If I have him, I'm looking to parlay the game that just happened because people are going to see it and go, oh, it's PJ Walker. No, it's Tampa cannot deal with guys out of the slot.
Yep.
Not cousin Colin Green. Flex Rondale or Raheem Mostert. Raheem Mostert all the way.
Yes.
He also said, Armchair, I felt your anger last night all the way in America.
Welcome to football, ladies and gentlemen.
I think all of us did. You're the first Patriots fan that's ever actually made me feel some kind of remorse for you.
That's because I'm not a ranting, raving lunatic talking about Mac Jones Super Bowl MVP.
Correct. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk a lot about Bailey Zapp and Mac Jones today.
Listen, you better not. I don't want to hear any Western Kentucky legend Bailey Zapp slander. I'll probably not tune in.
Yeah, well, I won't say that. This will be more Bill Belichick slander.
Okay, that's fine.
Nicholas Mazzola said Kamara, Cook, Walker, Zeke, Dillon are his running backs. Receivers are Sutton, McLaren, and Garbage, which is Gallup and Pierce. Dropping AJ for Gus, picking up Wandale. Which running back is best to shop around for wide receiver help, and who should I aim for? I know my answer, and it's unequivocal.
See, so I'm assuming that's Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara. Keep both of those. Keep Kenny Walker. I might be shopping Zeke.
I mean, I would always shop Zeke, and this is a good week to do it because he had 2 touchdowns, and people will lose their shit. Yep. I would personally, and this is just me personally, I would try to trade Zeke and Cook, get a running back, Deontay Foreman, as your 3, because you got Kamara and Walker that to me are every week starts. You'll have Gus that's a safe 3.
Yep.
And for Cook and Zeke, I think you could do very, very well. Who should you be targeting? Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra St. Brown's the one I would go for.
That's a great target.
That's the one I would go for. I would go Amon-Ra St. Brown and try to get another piece.
Yeah.
Chauncey Major, Taysom or Hawkinson at tight end. It's Hawk for me. It's not even close.
Yeah, same.
Debo for Jalen with no viable quarterback. I would do that.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts is a no-doubter for me.
Yes.
Joel Hernandez II. Metcalf went down for me. Wide receivers are London, Rondale, Dubs, Corey Davis, Thornton, and Dotson. What do you think of Waiver? Nico, Marquise Goodwin, DPJ, Mecole, MVS, Khalif, or Skoranek, and who do I drop?
MVS is probably the guy there.
MVS is probably the one I would chase, but I don't know who I would drop. I don't think I can drop Jahan Dotson, even though I kind of want to.
Is it Tyquan Thornton?
That's the one I want to say.
Tyquan Thornton is fine, but anyone will tell you in a Patriot offense that no one is a guarantee week in, week out.
Correct. And they're going to generate touches for him because he is the one really dynamic playmaker they have. It's just hard to get him the ball.
He's the change of pace guy if you can ever get him the ball.
Because he can't run a route. This was the problem I had with him when he came out. He can't run a route, so you can't generate him open on anything but 9 routes. And you've got noodle arm Mac Jones and Bailey Zapp that doesn't know how to pronounce his own name.
But he's fast. Pew, 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 pew.
He is very fast. Mariota Russ or Daniel Jones. I don't want any, but I don't have a choice. For me, it's Daniel Jones. It's not close.
Daniel Jones, and stop looking at it like you don't want any. Daniel Jones is definitely a play here.
And that made me feel gross to say out loud.
Yep.
Michael Thomas trade value. Virtually none. I would hold on to him. You will not get what you want. I promise you.
Nope.
Stream quarterback of the week.
Ooh. If you can get Daniel Jones, take Daniel.
Daniel Jones would be very high for me this week. Let's see.
I love Daniel Jones. Mariota's not really doing much for me.
My preliminary look at this week, Daniel Jones is the guy. Gino, if he's still out there. And if you have to stream a guy, Sam Ehlinger.
Yeah.
New quarterback bump. It's only for 1 week, but you'd have to be desperate. But it's a really good week. All right, so super rapid fire here because I do have to get down the hall to a meeting. Dude Man Bro said, I'm so glad I scooped up Wandale last week without having to burn a waiver claim. Wandale is my best friend, and I tried to tell you that it's going to be very good. So congratulations to you. Enjoy him. He will be very good to you. Alex S., is DK droppable? No.
Nope.
No, just IR slot. Hold on to him. It will be nice to come back to. Is Chris Godwin for Wandale fair to the Godwin side? I mean, that's too high on Wandale to me.
Yeah, same.
Evan Doyle said, I've had Hollywood Brown, Mike Williams, Javonte Williams, and Breece Hall. I have excellent luck. I have a team that I lost. I have lost 4 running backs, and I still have Dameon Pierce, Ken Walker, Miles Sanders, and Raheem Mostert.
T's and P's for Doyle.
100%. Quick pick one, Titans defense or the Cardinals?
Titans defense.
Agreed. Thoughts on Goff rest of season? Geno's my quarterback. Goff is a good backup in the bad matchup weeks, but Geno is the guy.
Fourth highest QBR in the NFL this season is Geno Smith.
Those two actually line up nicely as well because Goff has positive matchups in the weeks that Geno would be a tough play.
Yep.
This from Nick Perrone. Gus Edwards, Deontay Foreman, or Hubbard. It's Deontay Foreman for me. Gus Edwards is close. Chuba, a distant 3.
Distant third. Yep. Agreed.
And then Alec Pierce or Paris Campbell.
Alec Pierce.
Agreed. Chris D asked, which streaming defense this week?
God. Any defense is fine to stream this week. Stop playing defense leagues. God damn.
If I'm streaming a defense this week, it's the Colts probably.
The Colts are
the Jaguars
available. The Jags are 13% available. Jags are probably okay to play.
Yeah, I would go Colts or Jags. That would be my.
Yeah.
Especially if you have Brett ripping and the tearing in London.
Yes.
They would then become my favorite streaming defense. Dak and Pierce for Jalen and Eno.
I like Jalen a lot.
I like Jalen a lot, but I couldn't do that.
I couldn't give up Pierce.
Damian Pierce is an RB1 for me the rest of the season, and that's with me knowing how bad they are.
Yep.
Did you hear Lovie Smith talk about his touches late last week?
No.
He said, we need to get him 20 touches a week minimum.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard a coach say that. And then they got just dog-walked by the Raiders. Do you know how many touches he had?
25.
21.
Yeah.
Jameson Elson asked Waller or Hill. It's Waller for me. It's not even close if he plays.
Same.
I'll put it this way. I just traded for Darren Waller in a league. That is the one that I care the most about. That should tell you about everything you need to know. I'm still very high on Darren Waller.
Same.
And last question, Jameson Ellison, pick 2 of 3 wide receivers, PPR, T. Higgins, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans.
Godwin and Higgins.
That's where I would go to. I think teams have figured out Mike Evans, and they're just putting a safety over the top. That's what Carolina did.
Yeah.
He's not working intermediate for whatever reason in the way that this offense is set up. And so you just put the safety over the top and wish him the best of luck. But I think Godwin will be a PPR monster, and that Cincinnati offense is one that I want all of the pieces to.
Don't forget to join the House of Reprehensibles. If you have more questions, you can shoot them to us there. Jeremy, you got to get to a meeting.
100%. We appreciate all of you. We'll be back 3 o'clock this afternoon on ESPN Radio right here on YouTube and on the iHeartRadio app. Dave and I will confer for a trade targets video at some point later this week. This is between SoCon Media Days, whatever I'm getting ready to walk into, and the slew of other things. This is a landmine week for me. But we will make sure to find time for a trade video before the Friday football show. Any parting words, my Canadian friend?
Yeah, congratulations to me for winning Battle of the Belt last week.
Bingo. You and 6 Tennessee, you both caught dubs there. It was 2 we had 2 staggered tournaments, and you both scored damn near the exact same points, so we gave both of you the dub.
Someone knows how to pick bangers.
Bingo. All right, I am the Mullet Man. He is the Canadian. He is David Smith. I'm Jeremy Greene, and we will see you at 3 this afternoon later in the week for more fantasy.